Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staub and Les Jackson. I'm glad you're along for the ride. We're both glad you're along for the ride.
Yeah,
Got a lot going on this hour, Les. We're going to talk about Chevy revealing the Trax, right? Which was typically a vehicle that was kind of at the lower end of their price range and kind of style wise, but they've really updated it.
they have. You don't hear much about Trax, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty stylish. We're going to talk about it and how it is very similar to the Trailblazer. How will the two of those coexist in the lineup? So we'll tell you about that. And then no sale. Why this vehicle from Toyota is just not selling. We'll talk about that. It is their first EV vehicle, and
Yeah.
it could have to do with the name. That's what I'm just going to say. The
Well,
BZ4X. It means
yeah,
absolutely nothing.
yeah. What does that say?
Yeah, and it's upper and lower case too. But we'll we'll
Even worse.
we'll talk about that, and we'll have you'll have, and that the wheel review of a small car that I think
Uh,
it's a good starter car, isn't
it's a starter car for people who have too much money.
it?
And it's a heck of a car. The Mercedes-Benz S580 AMG.
Wow. Well, there you have it, and that is quite the vehicle, and you'll tell us all about that. Have the
It
full
is loaded with stuff.
loaded with stuff. All right. Well, we are going to come back because we've got plenty more stuff besides what we told you about on cruise control. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. We will see you in a few moments.
Oh, hey, it's only 10:02.
This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
Hey, I've got the wheel. Welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We are here once again to give out a lot of information. Things are changing so much in the auto industry that we could barely keep up with it. I'm Les Jackson. That other guy is Fred Staub. And I don't know what to start with.
Well, I'll start with something less. They are changing, but here's, I think, a change for the good. Chevy is, this week, has revealed their new Trax. The Trax was sort of a egg-shaped little entry-level SUV from South Korea, but they have completely redesigned it. Looks very much like the Trailblazer, and we'll tell you about how this became a real leader in the segment, or will become, from being an also-ran. Pretty good-looking vehicle, and the price is low.
It's quite attractive. You sort of want to know more about it. And our vehicle's becoming a transient commodity. Now, you may not quite know what that means, but we'll explain it. One manufacturer says subscription-based options and upgrades are here to stay, even if you don't like it.
That's right. So, you will enjoy those subscriptions, and you will pay monthly for your heated seats.
It's like the old Pennsylvania Turnpike in the old days when Howard Johnson's was the only place.
You will enjoy that fried clam sandwich, yes.
People used to make fun and say, well, Howard Johnson's, where else can you go?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, let's tell you about this vehicle. It is from Toyota. It is their first electric vehicle, and it's not selling. We'll tell you why it's not selling. And it's a pretty nice vehicle. We haven't driven it yet, but
no.
We'll tell you about it and why we think it is not selling.
It's good. Anyway, what caused Rivian to recall almost all of their vehicles? You hate hearing that, and certainly if you're Rivian, you hate it.
Yeah, and I don't think any manufacturer wants to recall all its vehicles, but that's something that Rivian has had to do. And you're going to have the at-the-wheel review of a very affordable Mercedes-Benz S-Class, right? It's not just...
Yes, the big guy, the S580 AMG 4MATIC rear wheel steering. This thing is, I'm going to try my best to get all of the things in on the review that it's equipped with.
I bet that costs, I don't know, $50,000?
Well, that's a down payment.
That's the price of the rear steering option, yeah. Well,
yeah, I actually have that price here.
Well, stick around because Les is going to have that price for that S-Class and a full review, plus a whole lot more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control. We'll be right back.
Actually, the rear axles.
Well, don't tell us yet, Les.
No, I won't.
No. But I wanted to talk about this concept of subscriptions. We'll tease that story a little bit because it seems like this is what they're moving to. It's just like the software industry where you used to pay X amount for software and you want the new version. Well, you had to pay more. It's sort of, they're comparing cars and trucks to streaming services. And the idea is, it's not like your cable bill where it's a hard thing to cancel. You can cancel it at any time. if you need heated seats when it's cold, but I use heated seats when it's warm sometimes.
You do?
Well, I turn the air conditioning on and have the heated seat on.
Wow. Um, I actually don't mind the idea of just paying for the heated seats in the winter or when I actually use it. It's kind of like Easy Pass in the toll lanes. You're paying for it as you're using it, but what are you paying?
Well, also, yeah, what are you paying? And over the course of the vehicle's life, will you
Yeah.
be paying, $40,000 for heated seats, right?
Well, that's it. Y- what's the long-term expenditure?
Yeah, unknown.
And I don't think people really know.
And it can be adjusted just like the destination charges,
Yeah.
to when they
Yeah.
want to make a little more profit, they can adjust it. That gives them that variability. So who knows? Well, we'll have more cruise control right coming up.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is none other than Les Jackson. We're two folks that like talking about cars and trucks and the automotive industry and new technology, and we're glad you're along for the ride to check it out. And we're starting off with the Chevy Trax, Les. If you recall, this is a vehicle made in South Korea for Chevy.
Right?
Kind of, I would say, a less than competitive vehicle over the last couple of years. The world has moved on, and the Chevy Trax has not. But that all changed this week when Chevy revealed their new version of the Trax, completely redesigned, new technology, all new, fresh design on the outside, cool colors, and it's got everything. There are 5 different models: the LS, the 1RS, the LT, the 2RS, standing for Rally Sport, and the Active. These kind of mimic the Trailblazer, which is the all-wheel drive version of this. This is just a 2-wheel, front-wheel drive version of vehicle. You can't get it in all-wheel drive, but I think it is a good-looking vehicle, and I think they could set this segment on fire when I tell you what you get and how much it costs. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's the key.
standard stuff. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They call it a muscular athletic design. I would sort of agree with that.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the old Trax was. So it really looks, like kind of a mid-range SUV.
It's more of an entry level, though, when you look at
But
the
it is,
prices.
it's an entry level, and boy, I mean, the price is, man, that's attractive.
Well, let's tell you what you get. You get the Chevy Safety Assist with 6 advanced safety and driver awareness technologies included. A larger infotainment screen, standard 8-inch, and then 11-inch on the LT 2RS and active trim. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. LED headlights. You know why you put LED headlights on? So you get a good crash rating.
Yep.
17, 18, or 19-inch wheels, 4-wheel disc brakes, active noise cancellation. That's interesting.
That's nice.
Well, they're all powered. They're not powerhouses for sure. They're all powered by a 1.2 liter turbocharged inline three-cylinder engine, kicking out 137 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. It even says this in the press release, a proven six-speed automatic transmission.
Well, it is that. And 137 horsepower doesn't sound like much,
Because it's not.
but well, true, but it's enough. You know, it's going to be peppy, but not fast.
Look, the interior looks really high end in
It
the
looks
photos.
really good.
Yeah. Um, you can get it the different styles. There's kind of a luxury look. There's the active, which has the black rims and kind of a tougher look. Uh, Additional content you can get includes heated front seats, steering wheel and outside mirrors, remote start, automatic climate control, power adjustable driver's seat on the active, available sunroof. So a lot of stuff there. A complete safety assist suite with automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane keep assist, forward collision assist, and telebeam auto high beam control. That's pretty amazing to get this. Rear vision camera, of course, and adaptive cruise control and lane change alert, and side blind zone alert, and rear cross traffic alert are all available. So the prices, where do they start? And by the way, this is going to be available in the spring. The LS starts at $21,495.
That's, boy, it's been 10 years since a serious vehicle has been $21,000.
The 1RS, $23,195. The LT at $23,395. The 2RS at $24,995. And both the 2RS and the Active are top of the range vehicles. 24 Active is $24,995.
Now, obviously, the marketing here is brilliant because if you go the 2RS for the $24,995 or the Active, the same price, you get everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's such a bargain even over the base price.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about the Chevy Trax and more when we come back on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. Fred and I were talking about the new Chevy Trax, which will be available in the spring. It's pretty cool, and we were going through the prices. Real bargain. I mean, the most you could pay is $24,995, which, assuming you can actually get it for that at the dealership. But I think the chip shortage is being worked out. I think we were guessing about the mileage, the fuel mileage, because we don't know yet. You think 40, huh?
I think it's close to 40. I do, and it's pretty interesting that we were going to talk about a little bit about how this vehicle is very similar to the Trailblazer. Of course, it is only front-wheel drive. Trailblazer, the prices kind of overlap. Trailblazer, of course, also built in South Korea, and it now, after you see the interior in this one and the exterior, it now looks kind of outdated. I would think more than likely the Trailblazer will get all these styling upgrades.
Probably sometime next year.
Yeah, and maybe they'll take that a little upscale, But I remember having the Trailblazer with this same engine, the same 3-cylinder engine. I got great fuel economy. And it was pretty good. You didn't think like, oh, there's a 3-cylinder. I had to remind myself, oh, that's a 3-cylinder,
Yeah, that's right. They're smooth. They're quiet. They put out enough power.
Mm-hmm.
Adequate, I guess, is the.
Thank you. That was adequate.
Yes. I mean, it's not dangerous. It's it's not a performance car.
But once again, a great first car for somebody.
Be terrific.
So
yeah.
So good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, let's move on to another great vehicle, but one that is not selling that well, and that is the Toyota. And you always have to look before you say this name because it's a BZ4X.
Man, they got to fire the guy that comes up with these names.
Not a single one of these vehicles was sold last month.
That's alarming.
Now, it has had a problem where apparently the wheels or the wheel hubs would fail and they could lose a wheel when braking. That's
not a good time.
That's always embarrassing when the wheel falls off. It really is. But that's been fixed, and they've offered a $5,000 credit and extra complimentary charging or complete no questions asked buyback if you buy one of these things. That's pretty crazy, right?
Well, assuming you've lived.
It's not a bad-looking vehicle.
It's not bad looking. I'm quite sure the electric drivetrain is, knowing Toyota, is flawless.
Yeah. I think the problem is the name. It means nothing, and it's hard to remember.
It is, yeah. BZ4X is just. It looks like you put your fingers on the wrong keys on the typewriter.
Yes, it's upper and lower case.
Yeah.
And it's got kind of a little bit of a RAV4 shape in the back, and
right.
It's the right size. And look, it's got the black cladding for people that feel like it's an off-roader. It's got a little bit of a sheet metal design, lines in the side. It is, I think it's priced at $42,000. You'll get the $7,500 off on this because Toyota's just dipping their toe into the world of electric vehicles, and it undercuts the Tesla Model 3 by a fair margin. I would rather have this, probably.
Same here.
Once they get it dialed in. 201 horsepower, 196 pound-feet of torque, and a range of 252 miles. Not bad, right?
Not bad at all. And if they're giving another $5,000 credit, It's pretty good. That's so you end up with $30,000.
I mean, would you buy a vehicle like that? Would you buy a Chevy Bolt after the problem they've had? We told
Sure.
you last week they're coming back. I think once the engineers turn to on a problem, you're really going to get a result, don't you?
Well, that's right. When a problem is fixed, when somebody says, "This is our problem. This is what we're doing to fix it." Okay, it's done. It's been tested. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So let's hope this. I look forward to driving it. Actually, I'm sure Toyota does a great job
I
with
would,
it,
yeah.
and we'll go from there. Well, let's talk about this. Are cars becoming a transient commodity? One manufacturer says subscription-based options and upgrades are here to stay, even if customers don't like it. You will enjoy those subscriptions, even if you don't like it.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about here, and it was BMW made big news. For some reason, BMW likes to finance their,
They
make
do.
their profits with heated seats, right? You and I joked about this on the show. There's always a $10,000 option to get heated seats, where like someone like Kia is like, yeah, all our cars have heated seats,
Yeah.
pretty much.
You're paying. Well, you got to buy some package with a whole bunch of stuff you don't want
Right.
to get heated seats.
Right. So
Um,
so a while back, BMW said, "Well, you know what? We're going to start selling our upgrades, our various options as subscription based. So you want heated seats, you pay X, we don't know how much, each month to get the heated seat. And it would sort of be like streaming services, which differ from cable. In other words, streaming, you say, hey, I want HBO Max. I want to watch a few things for a couple of months. And you know what?
right.
Everything I wanted to watch is done. So
Then
I'm
you
going to
turn it
cancel it,
off.
turn it off. Yeah. So that's kind of that is the model of it. But it doesn't seem like people are picking up on that idea, does it?
Well, it doesn't, and I don't know what they charge for these things, um, but I have a feeling it's probably not very reasonable. It's probably, as they say, they like to market uh, and charge to the pain threshold, and I don't like that. But
Yeah. Well,
I
this
mean, I'll pay more money for a bag of coffee beans, but I'm not gonna pay $15 a month for my heated seats.
Well, I mean, many times I have said I'd rather pay for something up front and not be worrying about paying a monthly
Yeah,
fee. You just like it, you take care of it, it would be like renting a computer, or oh, well, we can add new things in, but it's so much a month, and I kind of personally would rather just pay for it. But
well,
this article
yeah,
comes from VNC Automotive. They are a player in here in the subscription based world of this. So of course they would say um, that they would like this, but there's a lot of pushback. But what the car companies want to do, people are not going to the dealers. I wonder why after they buy the car, and they don't want the vehicle to be sold and then hey, it's such a good vehicle that I don't need to have any interaction with the manufacturer for 5 to 10 years, right? And
right.
they want to keep that revenue stream and that relationship going, which is a revenue stream more than a relationship. And I don't know. I mean, they say this article says in the study that younger people think of it as a car as a transient commodity. So car sharing, things like that, they don't
Right.
they're more attuned to this model where people that have been buying cars are used to buy the car and that's it. You want to add something to it, you can add something in the aftermarket. So we will have to say what happens. What do you think? Leave us a comment. Would you be happy with paying subscription prices on a monthly basis for something like heated seats or a heated steering wheel? We'll be right back. Les, just picking up on our last story, I also have another theory that eventually you won't be able to buy a car. It will be
I
only
think you're
leasing,
right.
and the idea will be like, well, the new cars are coming out, they're safer, and then there's a lot of new technologies like self-driving. These are going to be rapidly changing. We don't want anyone getting stuck with the old stuff. And I
Yeah.
think it will become a month. The whole car will become a monthly expense, as it is
Well,
now for many people.
as it is, because one of the reasons being that now they're a huge percentage of the average household income,
Over $500 is the average car payment.
and that starts adding up. Maybe the thing is, pay to use. If you use it a lot, it costs you more. If you don't,
Interesting.
it's not just sitting around collecting dust in your driveway.
Or car sharing. I mean, we heard a lot about car sharing, and it kind of nosed over. I mean, it was a big thing in New York. I forget the company, but they named each car, and then you had to go find it, and you would
Right.
use an app to unlock it, and the keys were in it, and
I'm not.
5.
I don't want to do that myself. First of all, I don't want to share a car with somebody.
here we go. We're coming back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. We were just kicking around the idea of transient commodity, pay as you
A
go,
transit commodity. How's that?
in a car, and by the way, that's already occurring in usage tax for vehicles. Like here in Virginia, if you have an electric or hybrid vehicle, you're paying less money for gas, so you're not paying as much in road taxes. So the state wants to charge you by how many miles you drive,
Uh-huh.
so that you cover your portion of the road tax.
Yeah,
Okay.
which they use for something else. So then the
Well,
rather than pavement. Yeah. Or
yeah.
yeah. Well, the model is changing. It certainly is. The model is changing. I don't know. I don't know what the future is. Maybe it's not owning, maybe it's leasing, maybe it's car sharing. I don't really want to share a car with anyone
I don't.
else either, because I've seen those shows where they the old Top Gear, where they went through rental cars and see what they find, you know.
Oh
So
yeah. Well, it's not for me. It's fine if that's what you like to do. I don't want to share a car.
well,
I don't want to rent a tux.
no, I don't
I
like wearing
actually
other.
own a tux.
I do too. Because I don't wear other people's pants. It's just the thing. Unless
Yeah,
I was
or
shipwrecked
shoes.
or had no clothes, I still feel weird. I like to wear my own clothes and my own shoes and drive my own car.
Right.
Hey, let's talk about Rivian. Now, you were telling me, of course, Rivian's building a great pickup truck and a great SUV, the Rivian R1T, another confusing jumble of letters and numbers, and the R1S, which is their SUV. You were telling me the other week that you all of a sudden started to see a lot of them around your area,
I
right?
did. I saw two in one morning.
Which is rare. I don't think I've seen any on the road yet.
The only ones I've seen.
Yeah.
And by the way, they looked very well built. They looked well put together,
Well,
high end.
there's a problem because there's a recall of virtually all vehicles built during a 13-month period, and they have not built a lot of vehicles. So it looks like Rivian is recalling them all because the wheels could fall off. Very much like the Toyota that we talked.
What is with wheels falling
This
off?
I think this is technology that we pretty much got down, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of figure by the 50s, they figured out how to keep wheels from falling off.
Yeah. Well, there was one picture on one of their on the Rivian forum of a vehicle with the wheel tucked under, a vehicle with the with its wheel tucked under the car, like it kind of disconnected the front suspension. They will come out and actually fix it in your driveway, which I kind of like,
I
and
like that.
it's not that hard. I believe it is checking the torque numbers on some of the suspension components. And even someone on the Rivian forum said you could fix it yourself. But you know what? If I don't have to take it anywhere and they just show up and do it, as much as I like doing stuff, I'd probably let them do it to know that, hey, they did it, and they can't say it
Yeah.
wasn't fixed, right?
That's right. So it was just a matter of the wheel bolts weren't torqued high enough, so they got loose and sheared.
Apparently, it is something on the suspension, actually. Not even the wheel bolts. It's the wheel bolts and hubs on the Toyota, and it is something on the suspension, and it should just take a few minutes. I like the mobile service. I think that's a great idea, don't you?
I think, in fact, I've always thought about that over the years. That why don't you get more mobile service?
Yeah.
For oil changes. I know they tried it, at least in this area, some years back. It didn't work. I guess it's just too time-consuming and unsatisfactory.
Well, you look at what they do with windshields. They put windshields in your
Windshields are
driveway.
great.
Safe Light and some other companies, So maybe that is something for the future. Who knows? But recall of virtually every vehicle they built is just not a good thing. just saying.
No.
So, hey, do you want to talk a little tech? You like talking tech, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. How about Audi? Audi is trying to help out with safety when it comes to bicyclists, and they did a full technology demonstration of CV2X. So CV2X is basically how self-driving cars and everything else will work. It is communication between vehicles, right?
Right. Communication, vehicle to
anything.
The outside.
And we even talked about this on a previous cruise control where you could have your cell phone in your pocket and you're walking across the street and the car will sense that that's sort of your beacon, your electronic beacon, and that will sense that there's a pedestrian and will slow. So they did a big demonstration of the connected vehicle to everything, that is CV2X in Oceanside, California, and they were looking about how it could alert drivers to the presence of a cyclist and prevent a situation where you hit a cyclist. And it sort of integrates completely with how it would see a car. You see the display up ahead. You get a indicator on your dash, probably an audio indicator as well. I don't really know what they're doing. I guess it was something built into the bicycle, like a transponder, right, to allow this.
Something, yeah.
And it gives left turn assist, right turn assist. It kind of lets you know where the bike is because they might be a little bit harder to see, right?
Well, plus you can't predict what the bicyclist is going to do.
No.
And, you need to know where that person is so that you can avoid them.
Yeah. So
that's the thing.
Yeah. So it is interesting to see this. I think virtually everything will have a transponder in it. Vehicle to everything transponder. Makes sense. I could see them even embedding it in clothes or anything, that you have this thing built in and you're always kind of always transmitting, right?
That's right.
Friend or foe.
Just like your Easy Pass, just like all sorts of things.
Yeah. Boy.
Your cell phone.
Think of all that spectrum and all that stuff going back and forth. It's a lot going on there.
A lot of microwave.
A lot of microwave, yeah. Hey, let's talk about what Mopar is doing at SEMA, and it looks like they're really pushing the electric idea. Could this be the new Ram electric pickup, or is it something just a concept? We don't know. But the Las Vegas show is coming up November 1st through 4th, and they are going to be showing off a lot of electric vehicles and Mopar parts as well. Um, so we'll have to see. I like that they show Ram, and I'm wondering if this is the Ram Electric. What do you think?
I think it is, and I think this SEMA is going to be fat with trucks.
Yep,
Trucks are big sellers these days.
yep. And, this is available, more information available at mopar.com, Mopar or no car, and the blog.mopar.com. You can see some of the concepts in that. And we'll have to see. They go all out. And sometimes, if you look very closely and squint and stand on one foot, you can see a future production car at SEMA, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And outside, they always have drifting exhibitions with professional drift drivers. I bet they do it with electric vehicles this year.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good bet to have that. And if you've never been to the SEMA show, and you can't go, unfortunately, because it's just open to the press or the aftermarket, but even the car show outside, you can, if you're in Las Vegas, you can just walk in there and
Oh,
see
yeah.
just the outside stuff is worth your time. It is a good
Oh, it's a
car
big show outside.
Yeah. I mean, you can do all that outside stuff. Nobody's going to ask you to say, "Where's your ID?" You just walk up and look at the cars, and there's hundreds of cars outside, custom stuff. So if you're in Las Vegas, step on over and check that out, because you will see some incredible stuff. Hey, when we come back, Les is going to, well, go into the world of luxury. So stay tuned
Yes.
for Cruise Control. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Fred is going to stand back and basically, with his mouth open, and continuing to drop his jaw when I review this Mercedes S380 sedan, long wheelbase, AMG 4MATIC, rear wheel steering.
It's got everything.
It's got everything. It's a beautiful, it's called emerald green exterior. Now, this is one of those greens that in the sunlight it's green, but if it's in the shade, it's black.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. Interior, black. I don't think you can get a big, expensive luxury car with an interior that isn't black.
Yeah, I would agree.
But anyway, power is a 4-liter V8 with a mild hybrid system, not a plug-in or anything. It's just for added power. Power is 496 horsepower.
That's stout.
And 516 pound-feet of torque.
Wow.
Through a 9-speed automatic. It's fun. I mean, it's a big, heavy car.
Yeah.
And it's fun to just stand there and plant your foot on the accelerator, because it moves. I mean, it's not like a Corvette, but it's 0 to 60 in the low to mid 5s.
Okay.
So you feel it. Very impressive. It's using a lot of fuel doing that, but I'll explain that later. Anyway, air suspension, of course. Now, and by the way, the interior is, all of the materials are just first rate. No one can complain about anything inside. Well, there's one thing that I'll complain about momentarily, but seats are a zillion ways power, heated, massaging, lumbar, automatic support when you go through turns. You know, you've been in these, Fred.
The
where
bolster will push you.
It bolsters, yeah. Which can be it's actually nice, but it can be a little disturbing at times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it has 2 digital screens. It has a 12.5-inch digital instrument cluster,
Mm-hmm.
and a 12.2-inch center screen. Now, the interesting thing is that it has what's called MBUX, Mercedes.
M-Bucks.
Here we go with letters again. MBUX. It's the Mercedes-Benz user experience.
Okay.
Now, what you get there is it spreads the information across both of the screens.
Okay.
So you have this big array. It's like flying an Airbus. But boy, oh boy, there's just everything there. It's 3D.
Wow.
Which is cool. It's the first 3D nav system I've seen. And it's really 3D. And in fact, when you're arriving at your destination, it's using Google Earth to show you what the place is supposed to look like.
Wow.
Not cheap.
No, I would imagine it's not.
None of this is cheap, as you'll see later. It's a touch screen, of course. It's a voice-controlled screen. By the way, the user experience recognizes a bunch of words, so you can train it to listen to your commands. Yes, correct, okay, accept, finish, cancel, no, and pause.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
I would imagine.
So, and of course you want to tell it where you're going. While you're doing all this, you can listen to the Burnmeister stereo system. This is a big deal in the audiophile world.
Burnmeister Burner.
The Burmeister stereo systems are supposed to be the best.
Oh, wow.
Whether it's in a car or not. I believe it's 14 speakers.
Oh, my.
It may be more. I couldn't get, you know,
An accurate count.
yeah. It also has a fragrance system in the HVAC.
Oh, wow.
It
Things you didn't know you need, but I guess you do.
Well, you know what? Once I've used them, I want them.
Yeah.
It had two different vials. One was winter, trees, evergreens.
Winter mist. I don't know.
The other one, I don't know what it was. I didn't open it because I was afraid it would be pumpkin or something for Halloween. But you know, there's just nothing they haven't thought of. Not necessarily that you need, but they haven't. You know, they've thought of it.
Does it have a fridge? Because I like the little fridge.
No, it does not.
That was probably an extra 60,000.
Well, that was an extra $10,000. Okay, of course, all the safety security you can possibly imagine. It has an attention assist system, which is blind spot detection, lane keeping, pre-safe, predictive occupant protection.
Wow.
Again, surround view system, which is really cool. You can push the button and see everything digitally in front, side, or back.
I like that.
Of course, it has electric controlled rear sunscreen and side sunscreens in the rear seat. Active parking assist, active braking assist, the dash camera for recording crashes. Then we get to the optional equipment. And by the way, this thing's incredibly comfortable to drive. And silent and just so smooth. The optional equipment includes the 3D instrument cluster, which is $1,100. The active ambient lighting, which I'm going to say don't get it.
Okay.
Because it's everywhere. It's the mood lighting. There are lines of LED mood lighting all
too disco.
around the dash, up in the upper console, down on the bottom of the doors. It honestly looks like Las Vegas at night. It really, I just, it's too much. Everyone who rode in it said the same thing.
Light show.
Turn that off. By the way, it has ashtrays and cigarette lighters.
Wow.
When's the last time you saw that?
No, not. I'm just anxious to know what all this costs because it sounds
okay. And by the way, and a noise reduction foam in the tires.
Wow. Okay. Stuff you didn't know you needed, but you got.
I love it. I'm not paying for it, but I love it. Okay. Base price, not all that bad, $117,700. But with all the options and the destination, which is only $1,050.
Almost normal these days.
Almost normal. $125,890.
That's a lot of car for that.
Fuel. 16 city, 19 highway.
Wow.
Well, actually, it theoretically could do 25 on the highway, but this is premium gas. This is not an inexpensive car by any means, but it is one heck of a car.
Yeah, that is an amazing vehicle. I mean, also incredibly safe, I am sure. It has always been one of the safest cars around, and yes, it is a beast. Good looking car. I'm sure it'd be great to get on the highway and take a road trip in, especially with that light show.
No.
All right.
And you can't turn that off.
Hey, it's time for us to say we appreciate you listening to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staub. We're going to see you down the road.
Bye.